Hello everybody, welcome to another DVD Blu-ray collection update video. And as you can see, I got a new shirt, Disney 100. I actually got this at Disneyland, actually, last month, actually, at the time I'm recording this. And I don't know if you can see very well, but anyway, so since I'm wearing a Disney shirt, and since I'm kind of in a Disney mood, well, not really in a mood, but since I happen to be wearing this shirt, I figured I might as well share with you some of the Disney themed or Disney movies that I got recently. So the first one, and some of these you probably have never heard of, but that's totally okay. G-Force. Yeah, G-Force. If you never heard of this, and yes, I know, what we need to have variety. We need to have some variety. Every collection should have variety. You can't just have one thing or the other. Yeah, G-Force. Jerry Bruckheimer and Disney have this weird partnership where somehow, for whatever bizarre reason or motive, they turn out movies that actually manage to be okay. Look at National Treasure or the first two Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I mean, those were great, at least to a certain extent. But here comes a movie, G-Force. This movie is about intelligent guinea pigs going on covert operations like the IMF. Yeah, that is exactly what this is. You know what? Honestly, I thought it was good. Yeah, I hate to admit it. I thought it was actually kind of decent. It wasn't great, mind you, but it was certainly better than it had any right to be. This movie, yeah, there are predictable moments at times. However, there are times where it kind of throws you off guard. But again, this is a very weird premise. Intelligent guinea pigs being spies? I mean, come on, man. There is no way. What is their mission, basically? Like, what is their mission? Well, it turns out that this mission is about they're trying to stop a mad tech billionaire from taking over the world through coffee machines. Apparently, he put some secret chip in them or something that makes them evil. Yeah, this is obviously an espionage. This is actually a guide to the espionage genre. This is more like a family-friendly espionage film. So think of it like Cats and Dogs, or the first Cats and Dogs, similar to that. Good cast though: Sam Rockwell, Penelope Cruz, Nicolas Cage. Who else is in here? Steve Buscemi, John Favreau. Yeah. Next is Earth. Oh, Disney Nature, where have you gone? Disney Nature. We haven't seen very many Disney Nature movies in quite some time. So, yeah. I actually remember watching this when I was younger, because I remember, being into like documentaries and such, and I remember seeing it in theaters, but I haven't seen it since though. This was narrated by James Earl Jones, but I did watch a couple of the other ones. I remember watching Oceans many years ago, but again, it's been a long time since I've seen these. Alright, next we have two movies that are part of a Disney movie club. We have The Mighty Ducks. I actually need to get more of these. Not every release is perfect, because some of them don't have bonus features at all, where others did. And some of these movies were released with no extras, so it made sense to put them on here, but whatever. Anyway, so I need to do more research on that. Anyway, for Mighty Ducks, Emilio Estevez plays a lawyer who's put on community service, and his task is to coach this Little League hockey team. That's basically it. It's cliche, it's predictable at points, but believe it or not, there actually are moments where they actually try to make this somewhat decent. Actually, there are times where they try to give it some depth to it, somewhat. I do know there are two sequels, but I'm not interested in that. In fact, I'm actually more interested in the animated series that was part of a Disney Afternoon lineup. Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. I remember as a kid watching the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids film. I also remember watching Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. And the one I remember the most was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, which I don't even know where it is anymore. I used to own it, but I don't know where it is anymore. Honey, I Blew Up a Kid. The only thing I remember from this movie was the shot of the kid. It was like a Godzilla-sized playing a guitar. That is literally the only thing I remember. Other than that, I don't remember a single solitary thing about this. Next, we have a movie that I love, which is The Rookie. This is the true story of Jim Morris, who one of his passions and dreams in his life was to be a pitcher, a baseball pitcher, but things got him away, and so and Dennis Quaid plays him, and he is coaching this Little League baseball team when he gets the idea to continue to pursue his dream, which is to be a professional pitcher. But he has this like really fast arm, so he's able to like throw like really fast pitches. And yeah, this is a really inspiring story, really meaningful film. Absolutely love this. Dreamers are the only ones that I actually like. I really do. This reminded me a lot of Rudy, in a sense. Only difference was that the main character isn't told over and over and over again that, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that, or whatever. No, nobody's doing that in this movie, which is great. It's a very inspiring story, really worth checking this movie out. Next we have Eight Below, another underrated Disney movie, but a lot of people don't really talk about it. So Paul Walker plays this guy who runs a research facility in Antarctica, who he's forced to abandon it because of a massive storm. However, he's forced to abandon his sled dogs too. And so he leaves them there and he vows to return. Well, what happens is that he can't actually get back there because of the storm. The storm is taking longer than they thought to actually clear up. So the storm is going on for like, I don't know, maybe 3 months, something like that. And during this time, he's trying to get back to the dogs because he promised them that he would return. Meanwhile, the dogs actually have made a life for themselves while being stranded in the middle of nowhere. This is a really interesting film, although the true story, as it claims to be, actually took place in the 50s, not the 90s. I don't know where they got that assumption, but whatever. Yeah, this is an underrated movie. A lot of people don't know this one. I actually saw... we know Paul Walker as Brian O'Connor from the Fast and Furious movies, but what we don't know is some of his other stuff. I saw Running Scared, which was a really stylish, fast-paced action crime thing, and this one, which is a pretty decent sled dog drama. And then there's Ours, which is an interesting drama about a father trying to protect his newborn child from Hurricane Katrina. But Eight Below, I think, is the best of them because more people can relate to it. Next we have their animated films. Get ready for this because this is going to be a long list. Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah, the first Wreck-It Ralph actually had a lot of intelligence and wit behind it. I mean, yeah, with Disney basically going down the tubes and basically imploding on themselves, let's think about their good stuff. This is one of them. A bad guy in this video game who doesn't want to be a bad guy anymore. It sounds simple, it sounds cliche, but it actually managed to work. It managed to work very well. Not to mention they combined all these like video game icons, so you know, Sonic the Hedgehog, Bowser from Super Mario Bros. What else did they include? Pac-Man, Q*bert. It's kind of interesting, but the main story is what's important, and the main story is actually pretty good. So yes, Wreck-It Ralph is Frozen 2, and yes, yeah, I don't know, but here's the thing about Frozen 2. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of Frozen 2. Actually, I did like the first Frozen. The first Frozen's great. Definitely one of Disney's finest, if not for the huge amount of overplay. You know, it's been played so many times. But Frozen 2, I have like a million problems with it. And it starts with the main plot. So Elsa and Anna have been running Arendelle for some time. Then Elsa hears this voice that's calling out like, ah. and so um, and so she tries to listen to it, but then she opened up this rift and this portal that basically causes Arendelle to crumble, and so now Elsa and Anna and Olaf and Kristoff, they have to find out where the voice is coming from, what exactly is causing this rift, and save Arendelle again. This is like the second time in which Elsa caused this this weird shift to Arendelle to basically fall into ruin. But that's the least of this movie's problems. But the biggest problem of this movie is the plot. None of it really makes any sense, and not to mention like the whole that voice for it sounds familiar. Like what exactly like what exactly is that coming from? Like where is it going? It's like once you find out, no. You can't. I'm sorry. No. It is so dumb. The worst part about it is Frozen 2 doesn't even work as like a movie. You know, it's the plot structure is just it doesn't really make sense. The plot structure is just not very good. The songs, I don't remember a single song in this movie with the exception of one. And that is Show Yourself, and it's a fantastic song. At least with the first Frozen, there was a reason why you memorized it because you played it so many times. But Frozen 2, I don't remember a single one outside of Show Yourself. And that was a really fantastic song. Unfortunately, some of the logic that's in this world doesn't make much sense. Like there's this thing about water and how water carries memory. I don't even know how that's supposed to work. And remember this thing about this bridge that, you know, is like haunted or something and it needs protection or something from... I don't know. It's just... the plot is just really stupid. And Olaf never shuts up in this, I swear. Yeah, I was not a fan of Frozen 2. I have it because, like, it was cheap. It's a Target exclusive and it was cheap, so... I got it for like $7. Anyway, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Considering that Winnie the Pooh is now in the public domain, it's almost kind of hilarious to, you know, see Winnie the Pooh still in their parks. Yeah, this is the package film that came out in 1977. This was the last film that Walt had involvement with because it's basically just a package film. It's a package film of Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree, the Oscar-winning Winnie the Pooh and Blessed Every Day, and Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2, with new animated sequences to sort of combine them and merge them together. And I've never really been a big fan of this one. Not even as a kid. As a kid, I was never the biggest fan of this one. So it was, to me, it was just okay. I liked the Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2 story. I liked that story. I liked the animated sequences that sort of bridge the gap between the shorts. And I did like the finale. But other than that, I don't know, maybe it'll grow on me now. We'll see. Actually, I went on the ride. The ride that's at Disneyland. It's okay. Now here's a masterpiece. Peter Pan. This is a masterpiece right here. This is one of the original gems right here. This is a movie that is so well done that... I mean, this is one of Disney's finest films. And it's funny because it has a very simple story. The idea of this boy who never grows up and takes these kids to Neverland. It's, you know, Captain Hook and Smee and Tick-Tock the crocodile. It's so simple. And it works beautifully. I haven't seen this in a while. I remember watching this as a kid. And really enjoying it. But we all have seen these when we were young at one point or another. But again, I just haven't seen this in a long time. But this is, yeah, classic. Not to mention the song You Can Fly, that's classic across the board. Next we have Pixar with Coco. Miguel grew up in this family that is essentially against music. Wait, is it Miguel? This is a young boy who grew up in a family, you know, banning music. But her great-grandfather was a famous singer, but something happened where, like, all of a sudden the family just starts banning music. So all of a sudden he gets transported to the afterlife, and he essentially tries to find his grandfather. And it happens, everything basically happens by accident. This movie came out at the right time. It came out during a time when the Mexican culture needed a film to really hang on to and believe in. And this movie won so many people over because it celebrates Mexican traditions, it celebrates heritage and family, and to remember your ancestors and your family, and it's absolutely wonderful. It's a really great movie. I do have a few issues with it though. Some of the logic of the afterlife that's portrayed in the movie is a little. It's not explained very well, and the twist toward the third act is a little stupid. But other than that, this is one of Pixar's best movies. And the sad thing is that this was their last good movie. Next is Pocahontas, one of the Disney Renaissance. Yes, I know this movie. I remember the song Colors of the Wind. I remember that song very vividly. But as far goes for the movie itself, knowing what I know now about history, yeah, Disney did not do their homework at all. Yeah, this movie tries to tell the true story of Pocahontas, but as I've stated with Balto, anytime there's an animated movie that focuses on historical figures, they never work out. They make up a whole bunch of stuff for no discernible reason. So, yeah, Pocahontas is a classic, but you screwed up history. You screwed up history, man. Actually, I did meet the actress who voiced Pocahontas. Her name is Irene Bradshaw, and I met her at a convention, and she was very nice. But yeah, coming up next, we have Raya and the Last Dragon. This is actually a really nice slipcover. This is a Disney Movie Club exclusive that I found. But anyway, yeah, I found this actually at a mom and pop store, and it's funny, they were selling this for like $6. It's great. But anyway, Raya and the Last Dragon. So first of all, the world building in this movie is brilliant. Alright, there was this land that was run by these dragons, and these dragons protected the land, but an evil force separated the land and its people from the dragons, and so the dragons actually sacrificed themselves to actually protect this, they sacrificed themselves to protect this land. Well, what happened is that because of that, the entire land was broken up into several different sections that represented a part of a dragon. So from the tail to the head. And each one of these sections have their own leader. Well, this evil force turns people to stone, and as a result of this, the lands are sort of in a way cursed, with every single person who's leading these islands. They all want a piece of the last dragon that exists. The name is Sisu. That is fantastic world building. But its setting is fantastic. The environments are great. And even Sisu, the dragon voiced by Awkwafina, doesn't get on my nerves. The problem is mostly the side characters. They're just not interesting whatsoever. They're not interesting to me. It tried. It certainly tried a lot harder than all the Disney movies that have come out since this movie. I wanted to give it another chance, so that's kind of why I got it. I mean, the main character wasn't the problem. It was just the side characters weren't interesting. The villains, so few they are, they don't really mean anything to me. And quite frankly, it's okay. Pinocchio. Yes, every collection should have Pinocchio. The film that pretty much popularized the When You Wish Upon a Star thing, which Wish tried to do but didn't exactly work because it flopped. Pinocchio is one of the granddaddy Disney films, and one that so many people idolize and appreciate. I don't even really need to say anything about this, honestly. I think it kind of speaks for itself. I mean, yeah, if you've seen the Guillermo del Toro one, that's great, but this is the original. I only need 2 Pinocchios in my life. This and the Guillermo del Toro one. Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Now, This came out, this was the last package film at Disney movies before Cinderella. And here's the thing, I don't remember this one. I do not remember this movie at all. I don't remember this one. I know of a Sleepy Hollow sequence. I know of it. Or at least I've heard of it. It scared so many people. This is essentially two stories in one. So we have Wind of the Willows, who was narrated by Basil Rathbone, and The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which is narrated by Bing Crosby. I actually went on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride at Disneyland, and yeah, don't remember this movie at all. Don't remember this movie at all. And then up next, we have Inside Out. Now, this is easily one of Pixar's best movies. And actually, they're second to last good movies. So, essentially, it tells the story of this little girl named Riley, who she has all these emotions in her head. You know, joy, disgust, anger, sadness, and fear. Well, it turns out that, like, sadness essentially messed up one of the memories by, I don't know, because she gets him away, and so Joy tries to fix it. And it's interesting because this movie deals with the mind and essentially how it all works, but what makes this movie so good is the raw emotions, the emotional impact that it has on you. That is easily what makes the movie work. You think that like a movie like this about, you know, a film dealing with, you know, what goes on inside your head, it sounds strange, but Pixar managed to make it work with heart, feeling, and soul. Not to mention each of the emotions have their own different personalities, which actually work well with one another. The only one that doesn't is sadness. I don't know why, I just never really been the biggest fan of sadness, to be totally honest. And it sucks Pixar cannot duplicate what this did, or even Coco for that matter. Next up, Mulan. Yep, there's only one Mulan, and it's this. Of course, we all know this movie very well. Mulan is trying to, you know, it takes place of her father, who is called to battle to defeat the Huns. The Huns have invaded China, and so her dad is essentially called back into service, but she takes his place in a world that doesn't want her to. This is a female empowerment movie that works beautifully, because you see all the things that she has to go through. She has to go through sexism, prejudice, herself. It's a really well done and well told story. But of course, this is one of the Disney Renaissance, and they killed it with the live action thingy. But I was actually surprised to actually find this by itself, because every release of this movie, every DVD release of this movie pretty much comes with Mulan 2. And I was fortunate enough to not have that because I don't want Mulan 2 in my life. Ever. That is easily one of the worst direct-to-video sequels ever made. It's well written. The songs are memorable. I could just name a few of them on the top of my head. Reflection, I'm Gonna Make a Man Out of You. This is what a woman is worth fighting for. Actually, it said that Mulan actually did exist at one point, but that's entirely up for debate. Next, we have one of my favorite modern Disney films, Zootopia. I don't want to give it away, but actually, this is a neat Target exclusive. But anyway, Zootopia is easily one of the best, and there are many reasons why. This is a film that has an all anthropomorphic cast. You know, the world of Zootopia is very fascinating, very interesting. The character of Jack Wilde and Rudy Hobbs being very memorable. And not to mention, this movie has social commentary on racism and speciesism. And this movie has so much going for it, and it does a fantastic job. Well animated. I love the animation in this. The story's great. The characters are great. And not to mention, it has social commentary in it, which a lot of Disney films, you know, they always focus on the commentary first and the story dead last. But this one is in reverse. I actually did a review on this back when it was new, but yeah, I love Zootopia. And I'm going to end things today with one of the greats, Sleeping Beauty. Yes, Disney may have ruined Maleficent with her standalone movie, but they can never take away the impact of Sleeping Beauty. And one of the best fairy tales come to life. Not to mention the simplicity of it, the fact that Maleficent is one of the greatest baddies in Disney history, the songs being iconic, the I Know You, Once Upon a Dream, easily one of Disney's crowning achievements. I don't think I need to explain why this movie is so iconic, but if you're not aware, this is one of the all-time greats. Bad and Pinocchio, Peter Pan, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which we're about to kill next. It's funny, a lot of these have gotten live-action remakes for really no discernible reason, but they've still preserved the originals. It's kind of funny. If you go to Disneyland or Walt Disney World, if you walk through the castle and then you make a straight left, which is surprising actually because I thought there was nothing in there. Like I thought it was just like a hollow shell or something that was like an icon or something. But no, actually, if you go straight through the castle and then you make an immediate left, you'll find a door that basically says, I think it says like Sleeping Beauty or something. You go through that door, and there's these storybook tellings on Sleeping Beauty. It's like they have all these animatic retellings, which I thought that was cool. I thought that was cool. Sleeping Beauty was brand new at the time that Disneyland was being constructed. They were originally going to have a castle named after Cinderella, but since Sleeping Beauty was about to come out, and since Disneyland was about to open, they renamed the castle, they remodeled it, and based it off of Sleeping Beauty. So it's called Sleeping Beauty's Castle. Now, I don't know what they call the castle in Walt Disney World. I assume it's Cinderella's castle or something. Never been to Disney World, actually. It's funny. Anyway, that is it for Disney for today. So thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, see ya.